At one point in history, one man didn't just become rich. He controlled something far more powerful than money. He controlled the one resource that powered factories, moved trains, lit entire cities: oil. And by controlling oil, he quietly controlled the engine of an entire nation's economy. But here's the strange part. Most people didn't even realize it was happening until it was already too late. So how did one man, starting from almost nothing, build a system so powerful that it controlled nearly 90% of America's oil? In this video, we're going to break down exactly how he did it, how he entered the oil industry at the perfect time, how he outsmarted and crushed his competitors, how he built a system that no one could escape, and how, even after losing everything, he somehow became even richer. The man behind this story, John D. Rockefeller, was born on July 8, 1839, in Richford, New York. But his early life was far from stable. His father, William Avery Rockefeller, was a traveling salesman, but not a normal one. He was known for selling questionable products, sometimes even fake miracle cures. He was unpredictable, often gone for long periods. His mother, Eliza Davison Rockefeller, was the complete opposite: deeply religious, strict, disciplined. She raised John with strong values: save your money, work hard, stay controlled. These two influences, a chaotic father and a disciplined mother, shaped Rockefeller's personality in a powerful way. From a young age, Rockefeller was different. While other children played, he counted, tracked, measured. He raised and sold small goods, like turkeys, kept records of every cent he made, and even lent small amounts of money, charging interest. Yes, as a child. He wasn't just trying to earn money, he was learning how to control it. In 1855, at just 16 years old, he got his first job as an assistant bookkeeper at a firm called Hewitt and Tuttle in Cleveland, Ohio. This changed everything. Here he learned how businesses tracked money, how profits were calculated, how costs were controlled. He later said, "I always tried to turn every disaster into an opportunity." But the truth is, he didn't wait for opportunity. He prepared for control. In 1859, something happened that changed America forever. In Titusville, Pennsylvania, a man named Edwin Drake successfully drilled the first commercial oil well. And suddenly, America exploded into an oil rush. People rushed in, hoping to strike it rich, drilling everywhere, speculating, gambling. It was chaos. By the early 1860s, Rockefeller was already in business. But instead of joining the rush to drill oil, he made a decision that would define his future. He entered the oil industry in 1863, but not as a driller, as a refiner. He focused on turning crude oil into usable products like kerosene. Why? Because drilling was unpredictable, but refining could be controlled, measured, optimized. This was the beginning of his system thinking mindset. In 1870, Rockefeller officially founded Standard Oil Company. But this wasn't a one-man operation. He partnered with Henry Flagler, a brilliant strategist, Samuel Andrews, a refining expert, and Stephen V. Harkness, a major investor. How they came together. Rockefeller first met Samuel Andrews, who had deep technical knowledge of refining. Then came Henry Flagler, arguably the most important partner. Flagler understood expansion, negotiation, and structure. He helped Rockefeller think bigger, scale bigger, dominate faster. From the beginning, their goal wasn't just profit, it was control. They wanted to eliminate inefficiency, dominate refining, outscale everyone. And they executed with precision. By 1882, Rockefeller introduced something revolutionary, the Standard Oil Trust. What is a trust? At the time, laws made it hard for one company to control others across states, so Rockefeller created a workaround. He placed multiple companies under one group of trustees. These trustees controlled everything as if it were one single company. What this meant, even though it looked like separate companies, they were all controlled by one central power, Rockefeller. Why this was powerful? He could coordinate pricing, control production, eliminate competition. It was hidden control, legal, but controversial, and incredibly effective. By the late 1800s, people began to notice something was wrong. Small businesses were disappearing. Competition was dying. One company was everywhere: Standard Oil. Ida Tarbell. She was a journalist, but not just any journalist. She had a personal connection. Her father had been driven out of the oil business by Rockefeller's system. Between 1902 and 1904, she published a series called The History of the Standard Oil Company. What she exposed: secret railroad deals, price manipulation, aggressive takeovers, hidden monopoly control. She didn't guess, she documented, step by step. The public was shocked, outraged. For the first time, people truly understood the scale of Rockefeller's power. In 1890, the U.S. government passed the Sherman Antitrust Act, a law designed to break monopolies. For years, Standard Oil fought the government, but pressure kept building. In 1911, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled Standard Oil was an illegal monopoly and it had to be broken up. By 1911, the world thought it was over. The U.S. Supreme Court had just ordered the breakup of Standard Oil. After decades of dominance, after building the most powerful oil empire in America, it was gone, split into 34 separate companies. On paper, it looked like a defeat, a complete collapse of power. But what happened next was something almost no one expected. Because John D. Rockefeller didn't walk away empty-handed. He owned shares in every single one of those new companies. And those companies didn't shrink, they exploded. From the ashes of Standard Oil came names that would go on to dominate the global oil industry for over a century. Standard Oil of New Jersey later became Exxon. Standard Oil of New York later became Mobil. Standard Oil of California later became Chevron. Standard Oil of Indiana later became AMCO. Each of these companies grew into multi-billion-dollar giants, and Rockefeller owned pieces of them all. Before the breakup, his wealth was already massive, but after the breakup, it multiplied rapidly. By 1916, just a few years after the breakup, Rockefeller became the first officially recognized billionaire in modern history. At a time when the average American earned less than $1,000 per year, $1 billion was almost unimaginable. Putting it into modern terms, adjusted for today's value, his net worth is estimated to be $300 billion to over $400 billion. That's not just rich, that's beyond modern billionaires. To understand this level of wealth, it's more than Elon Musk at his peak, more than Jeff Bezos, more than Bill Gates. And the crazy part? This wealth didn't come from one company anymore. It came from a network of companies, all rooted in the system he had built. Breaking Standard Oil didn't destroy Rockefeller's power, it multiplied it. Instead of controlling one giant company, he now had influence across an entire industry through multiple corporations, multiple markets, multiple revenue streams. He had turned one empire into a system that could not be easily controlled or stopped again. And in doing so, he didn't just survive the fall of his empire, he became even more powerful than before. John D. Rockefeller didn't invent oil, he didn't discover it, and he didn't hold political power. But he understood something far more important than all of that. He understood systems. While others were chasing opportunity, he was building control. He saw that oil wasn't just a product, it was the foundation of an entire economy. Factories needed it, railroads depended on it, cities were built around it. And instead of competing inside that system, he positioned himself above it. He didn't just build a company, he built a structure where every path, every supply line, every opportunity eventually led back to him. And that's why even when the government stepped in, even when his empire was broken apart, even when it looked like he had lost everything, he hadn't. Because the real power was never just in Standard Oil, it was in the system behind it. A system so strong that even after being divided into pieces, it continued to grow, multiply, and dominate for generations. Look around today. The modern world still runs on energy, still runs on systems, still runs on networks of control. And many of the largest oil companies in the world today trace their roots back to what he built. Which raises a deeper question. How many systems around us today feel independent but are quietly controlled behind the scenes? How many industries, how many markets, how many opportunities are shaped not by competition, but by structure? Because Rockefeller's story isn't just about wealth, it's about vision, timing, discipline, and most importantly, control. If there's one thing to take from this story, it's this. The people who shape the world the most aren't always the loudest. They're not always in the spotlight. Sometimes they're the ones quietly building systems that everyone else unknowingly depends on. And once those systems are in place, control doesn't need to be loud. It becomes invisible. And maybe that's the real lesson here. It's not just about how much money you make. It's about what you control and how deeply that control is built into the world around you.